It is 2:47 in the morning. You are asleep. Your bedroom is dark. Your breathing is slow and rhythmic. To anyone watching, you are doing nothing. But inside your abdomen, beneath layers of skin and muscle, your liver is preparing for one of the most consequential metabolic shifts of your entire day. In about 13 minutes, a chemical signal will arrive from a small region at the base of your brain called the hypothalamus. This signal will not wake you, you will not feel it, but your liver will respond immediately. The way a factory floor responds when the night shift supervisor arrives and changes the production schedule. Your liver will begin converting the visceral fat stored around your organs into glucose and releasing it into your bloodstream. This is not an emergency response, this is not a malfunction. This is a scheduled event. Your body has been doing this every single night for years, possibly decades. The question is not whether this happens. The question is how efficiently it happens. Because the way your liver handles this 3 a.m. metabolic task will determine the state of your entire metabolism the moment you open your eyes 6 hours from now. It will determine whether you wake up with stable blood sugar or whether you wake up already behind, already compromised, already sliding toward insulin resistance before you even get out of bed. Most people think insulin resistance is something you build during the day through poor decisions. Sitting too long at your desk, eating too much sugar, skipping movement, stress. And those things absolutely matter, but they are only half the story. The other half happens while you are completely unconscious, while you have no control, while you are not making any decisions at all. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., your liver is making choices you never consented to, running programs you never knew existed, responding to signals you sent hours ago without realizing they were metabolic instructions. What happens in those 2 hours does not stay in those 2 hours. It echoes forward into your morning hunger, your afternoon energy crash, your evening cravings, and your long-term metabolic health. Right now, at 2:47 a.m. while you sleep, your liver is deciding what kind of day you are going to have. Here is what most people believe about visceral fat and insulin resistance. They believe it is a daytime problem caused by daytime behaviors. You sit too much, so fat accumulates around your organs. You eat processed food, so your insulin spikes and your cells stop listening to it. You skip exercise, so your muscles lose their ability to pull glucose out of your bloodstream. The solution, then, seems obvious. Move more during the day, eat better during the day, manage stress during the day. Fix the problem when you are awake and aware and in control. This belief is not wrong. It is just incomplete. It assumes your metabolism pauses when you go to sleep, that your body enters some kind of neutral holding pattern until you wake up and start making decisions again. But that is not how your liver works. Your liver does not rest at night. It does not wait for morning. It operates on a circadian metabolic schedule that has nothing to do with whether you are awake or asleep. Around 3 a.m., your body anticipates that you will wake up in a few hours and need energy. To prepare for this, your adrenal glands begin releasing a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but that nickname is misleading. Cortisol is not just released when you are anxious or overwhelmed. It is released every single morning in a predictable wave. Starting around 3 a.m. and peaking around 8 a.m., this is called the cortisol awakening response, and it is completely normal. The job of this early morning cortisol surge is to raise your blood sugar so you have energy available the moment you wake up. Here is where your liver enters the picture. Cortisol does not create energy out of nothing. It sends a signal to your liver that says we need glucose, and we need it now. Your liver has two options. Option 1, break down glycogen, which is stored glucose sitting in your liver cells, ready to be released. Option 2, convert fat and protein into new glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. If you went to bed in a good metabolic state, with stable insulin and empty glycogen stores, your liver will choose option 1. But if you went to bed in a compromised state, your liver will be forced into option 2, and option 2 changes everything. It is now 3 a.m. exactly. Cortisol has begun to rise. Your hypothalamus has sent the wake-up signal to your adrenal glands, and they have responded by releasing cortisol into your bloodstream. within minutes. Cortisol molecules arrive at your liver and bind to receptors on the surface of your liver cells, called hepatocytes. This binding event is like inserting a key into a lock. It does not force anything open. It simply signals that a new program is about to run inside your hepatocytes. Enzymes responsible for breaking down glycogen begin to activate. Under ideal conditions, your liver has stored enough glycogen from yesterday's meals to release a steady, controlled stream of glucose into your bloodstream over the next 2 hours. This glucose will raise your blood sugar just enough to give your brain the fuel it needs when you wake up. This is smooth. This is efficient. This is what your liver was designed to do. But if your glycogen stores are already depleted, or if your liver is already overloaded with fat from poor evening eating or chronic stress, the process becomes unstable. Your liver cannot release glycogen it does not have. So it switches to plan B. It begins converting fatty acids from your visceral fat into glucose. This is gluconeogenesis, and it is metabolically expensive. It requires your liver to work harder, produce more oxidative byproducts, and pull resources from fat stores that were supposed to remain untouched overnight. At 3:15 a.m., if gluconeogenesis is running, your liver starts breaking down triglycerides stored in and around your abdominal organs. These triglycerides are split into glycerol and free fatty acids. The glycerol gets converted into glucose. The fatty acids get partially oxidized, and some of them get repackaged into particles called very low-density lipoproteins, or VLDL. These particles will be released into your bloodstream and will contribute to the cholesterol panel you might see on a blood test months from now. But right now, at 3:15 a.m., they are just your liver trying to solve an energy problem you created yesterday. By 3:30 a.m., your blood sugar has started to rise. If this rise is gentle and controlled, your pancreas will release a small, appropriate amount of insulin to keep things stable. But if the rise is sharp and erratic, your pancreas will overreact and the insulin response will be too strong. This sets the stage for everything that happens when you wake up. It is now 4 a.m. Your liver is still working, cortisol is still rising. But now another hormone enters the conversation. Between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., your pituitary gland releases pulses of growth hormone. Growth hormone is anabolic. It helps preserve muscle mass while you sleep. It promotes tissue repair. And critically, it tells your liver to stop relying on glucose and start burning fat for fuel instead. This is the metabolic switch your body is trying to flip every night. Growth hormone is supposed to shift your liver away from releasing glucose and toward oxidizing fatty acids. If this switch flips cleanly, your liver will stop making new glucose from fat and will instead start burning that fat directly for energy. This is ideal. This is metabolically protective. This keeps your blood sugar stable and your insulin sensitivity intact. But growth hormone can only do its job if your liver is metabolically flexible. If your liver is clogged with fat, if your cells are already insulin resistant, if your mitochondria are sluggish from years of poor metabolic signaling. Growth hormone cannot flip the switch. Your liver will continue running gluconeogenesis even though it should not. It will keep dumping glucose into your bloodstream even though you do not need it. And your pancreas will keep secreting insulin even though your cells are not listening. By 4:30 a.m., if this process has gone wrong, you now have elevated blood sugar, elevated insulin, and a liver that is exhausted from working overtime. Your visceral fat cells, which were supposed to stay quiet and dormant overnight, have been mobilized and broken down into free fatty acids. Some of those fatty acids have been burned, but many of them have simply been recycled back into your liver and repackaged into new fat particles. You have not lost fat, you have just moved it around. At 5 a.m., cortisol peaks. Growth hormone pulses taper off. Your liver begins to slow its glucose production because your brain anticipates you will wake soon and eat. But the damage, if there was damage, has already been done. The decisions your liver made between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. have set your metabolic tone for the day. And you have not even opened your eyes yet. It is now 6:30 a.m. Your alarm goes off. You wake up. You do not feel what happened in your liver 3 hours ago. You do not have a readout, you do not get a notification, but your body knows. If your liver handled the overnight shift cleanly, you will wake up with stable energy, clear thinking, and no immediate hunger. Your blood sugar will be balanced, your insulin will be low, your cells will be ready to respond when you eat breakfast. But if your liver struggled, if it was forced into gluconeogenesis, if it overproduced glucose and triggered an insulin spike in the middle of the night, you will wake up differently. You might feel groggy. You might feel hungrier than you should. You might crave something sweet or starchy even though you have not been awake long enough to need food. This is not a character flaw. This is not lack of willpower. This is your body responding to a metabolic event that happened while you were asleep. Your liver does not make mistakes. It makes decisions based on the information it has. If you went to bed with high insulin, if you ate late, if you were stressed, if you did not move after dinner, your liver interpreted those signals as instructions. It assumed you needed glucose production overnight. It assumed your glycogen stores were unreliable. It assumed it should mobilize fat and convert it into sugar. It was trying to help you. It was trying to prepare you for a day it thought would be metabolically expensive. The insight here is not that you are broken. The insight is that your liver is listening. It is responding to every signal you send, even the ones you do not realize you are sending. The state you go to bed in becomes the state your liver works from between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And the state your liver creates between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. becomes the state you wake up in. You do not control what your liver does while you sleep, but you do control what you give your liver to work with before you sleep. Your liver is not your enemy. It is not failing you. It is trying to protect you with the tools you gave it. The question is whether you are giving it the right tools.